Watchmen, what of the night? Watchmen, what of the night? We are under attack, 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 attack. It is coming at us full force right now, ladies and gentlemen. Forerunner Chronicles live right now, and we are dealing with some serious prophetic movements right now. The issue that I began talking with you on the program this evening is the encyclical letter that was released today by Pope Benedict the 16th, in which he states that the governments of this world need to establish a global political authority. We are talking about a new world order, ladies and gentlemen. A global economic infrastructure which must be directed by ethics and the dignity of the common man. In essence, he is calling for himself to be the director of this whole situation. And if that wasn't enough, if that wasn't enough to get you stirred in your seat and realize you need to restructure the way that you're living right now, the way that you're allocating your time and your finances and directing the affairs of your family, if that in itself is not enough, then I take you over to the swine flu epidemic. And you say, well, why is this guy talking about the swine flu epidemic? Well, let me explain to you why I'm talking about the swine flu epidemic in connection to all of this. Now, if you've been paying attention to this pandemic, rather, I use the word epidemic, but correct terminology would be pandemic. If you've been paying attention to the news in relationship to this swine flu pandemic, then you would be aware of the fact that 1 million or more Americans have been infected by this virus up to date. And if I'm inaccurate in that, please somebody correct me, because I sure would like to have the accurate percentage in relationship to this matter. I know that it's not smaller than that percentage, it can only be greater. And the relevance of this is the whole situation with the Verichip. Now you say, well, what does the Verichip have to do with the swine flu? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Verichip has a lot to do with the swine flu. But before I jump right into that, I just want to point out the fact that the media has been working to strike fear into our hearts in relationship to this whole pandemic that's going on. And if you saw the news about, I think it's about 2 to 3 days ago, then you'd know that one of the stars from the Harry Potter movies came down with the swine flu pandemic. And that was a front page news article. It was about 2 days ago now, letting you know that this thing can strike anywhere. Nobody is safe. Anybody can catch this thing, and it is moving with vehemence right now because it is easily contractable from one human being to the next. Once again, you're asking, well, what does this have to do with the Verichip? Well, as I was doing a little bit of research, as the Holy Spirit did place it on my mind to do so, and I started looking into the Verichip, ladies and gentlemen, interestingly enough, on May 6, 2009, the Verichip Corporation and Receptors LLC, which is another corporation that designs some very interesting technology that can be scaled down very that can, you know, be scaled down very small. On May 6, 2009, Verichip, in cooperation with Receptors LLC, began developing a sensor system to detect biological threats such as swine flu and other illnesses. Rice-sized grain microchip that can be inserted under the skin with a syringe. It's inserted in the arm, by the way. It's not inserted in the hand, definitely not inserted in the forehead. It's inserted in the arm, in the leg, in the buttocks. It can be placed in all of these regions. These companies, Verichip Corporation and Receptors LLC, began developing a sensor system. Well, at that time they began developing it. They have completed the development of it now. But they began developing a sensor system to detect biological threats such as swine flu and other illnesses. Wow. This chip that they're developing not only detects swine flu in the system of the individual that has it, but it can also detect biological chemicals that various terrorist groups might want to use in biological warfare against us. And as you do more research into this same piece of machine, I don't want to say machinery, but this same chip that they're developing, this ingenious invention, if I might say so myself, you come to realize that what this corporation is presenting to the health industry, the consumers of this product, which would be your major health industries, is that, and the hospitals as well, is that this piece of technology can save a gigantic amount of money, or could rather help them save a gigantic amount of money in healthcare, because it would completely do away with these multiple tests that have to be ran when an individual comes into the emergency room, not knowing what is wrong with them. So it will do away with doing these multiple blood tests and scans and so forth. All they'll have to do is one scan over the arm, and they will know what is in this person's system, if it's the swine flu, if it's some biological chemical, so on and so forth. And with the fear that they're putting in the people's hearts, this is going to be something that people are going to latch onto, and they will receive out of fear, because, ladies and gentlemen, the first symptom that one has in receiving the swine flu, or when they contract the swine flu, is a very high fever, somewhere in the range of 100.4. Okay? And if it can be caught quickly, then they say they can deal with it. And so this will be a part of the propaganda that is pushed through the healthcare industry to make the masses accept this Verichip, which will contain not only your health information, but all the information about you. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Verichip will definitely be one of the control factors that are utilized to make people bow down to the false system of worship that will be established. What I'm talking about right now is the real mark of the beast.